pretty recent where I became like more involved and started to care, but like I want to say the earliest time was like when I was in kindergarten and Barack Obama, like he was the first African American president, like that was like a super huge deal. And then another really early memory was at like when Trump was getting elected, so like it was like a more like a memory that I more like recognize. It's like I remember the whole entire country like kind of like crazy like it is now, and like a lot of teachers that weren't even like academic teachers were talking about politics because it just seemed like such a big deal at the time. Mm-hmm. So the first memory with Obama was in like kindergarten, and then the second memory was in like 8th grade. My parents are like huge Republicans, so I remember that like for the Obama election, they're like, oh yeah, like, well, my mom doesn't vote, but that's like a whole entire thing with Asian culture where like a lot of Asian people don't vote because like they would rather vote than go to like jury duty, and they feel like it's not worth it. Like if they can make money to help their family, then like why are they spending 2 weeks off of work? So my dad votes, and I remember like he was voting for, I think like the candidate at the time was it Mitt Romney against like Obama, yeah. And then like even now my dad is still a huge like he's a Republican, so he supports Trump now. So at the very beginning, I thought I was like, I feel like I was honestly pretty conservative because my parents just like influenced me a lot. And like, I wouldn't say that's necessarily bad because like you only can base your views or like what you know off of your experiences unless you like seek out more. And I guess that was definitely like ignorance on my part, right? Like just thinking that like everything my parents said was like right. Whenever I became invested in Key Club, I went to this international convention. Key Club is like this international service organization, and I met up with these kids from like New York, and they're like, where are you from? And they're like, oh, I'm like, oh, I'm from Mississippi. And they're like, oh, you're just another conservative, huh? And I was like, what? I was like at the time, I didn't realize that like I was that, and that people associated Mississippi so strongly with that. Like as I'm older, I can see that now. But whenever I was like 13 or 14 and I wasn't involved in politics at all, I was like, I can't believe those kids just called me conservative. Like Mississippi isn't a personality trait, you know? That's whenever I started like reading up on research, because I would just talk to my friends from New York, and I guess they were more politically involved. So they were like, Skyler, like, what's your view on like abortion, or like, you know, what's your view on healthcare or government aid or like education? And then that's whenever I became more involved. And then like the fact that I was able to vote this year, I didn't want to be like one of those like ignorant, like I don't want to even say teenagers, let's just say like citizens in general that like aren't well versed on politics. I realized, especially like getting involved in like sustainable development and research and just doing like recognizing like all these things, like it is truly a privilege to like be able to vote or even have this right, because it's like it's almost like people don't care to vote because they feel like their life isn't being directly affected, which is like a privilege. My dad asked me like, Skyler, who are you gonna vote for? And I'm like, not like it's any of your business, but I'm gonna vote for Joe Biden. And my dad's like, I can't believe that, that's despicable. And I'm like, Dad, I don't like Trump, but I'm not telling you not to vote for Trump, so leave me alone, right? And so like my brother, so Matthew talks about it, and he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna vote for Trump. And I'm like I honestly question him. I'm like, Matthew, like why? Like even though like I disagree with it, that's not why I'm asking. I'm asking like because you actually done your research? Like, do you care? And he's just like, well, you know, Mom and Dad just told me all these things. And I was like, oh God, that's like the worst answer I could have gotten ever. And so like, yeah, my brother, but then also a lot of my friends who just like haven't experienced like more, they just haven't like maybe like traveled outside of Mississippi, they haven't gone to a school like MSMS or something like that. Like people who don't have those experiences, they're really like just like usually more conservative, and they'll just do whatever their parents tell them. And it's even like this like non-voting culture, it's like it's judged more now and finds like more socially acceptable now to like not vote or be like politically active. But I still feel like within the Asian community, it's just like they got that from their parents, like they don't care, like it doesn't affect them, like so they're not going to.